Good morning, everybody. I'm so happy that some of my classmates are telling. I don't know how many people will be there in the hall, right? At least I'm happy that more than my classmates, there's plenty of people. First of all, thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to be speaking in front of all of you. And I also want to make a claim that I am not a teacher, I am not a scientist, and I am just a friend among all of you. So, the topic what I am going to be talking to you, there will not be any English. So, my request to all of you is, I just want all of you to be taking a deep breath and just relax, because you will not be loaded with any of these slides. You will be just listening to me, or I will be listening to you through some questions. Very simple things what you normally think that you know, but you do not know many of those things when you realize when I ask those questions. Thank you once again. Take a deep breath. So as I said, I may not be able to be talking and standing in one place. I mean, I keep moving, but I don't know whether I'll be audible or not. 13 slides, it can take 13 minutes or 130 minutes also, but I don't want to bore you with all those things. When I speak, I want to talk to you with an eye contact. I just don't want to be just running on the slides and just talking to you. I don't force any one of you to be just concentrating on the slides. But whatever question I ask, and you have to think yourself, and you apply to yourself, and you have to actually move what is going to happen. I'm so happy, 1984 I passed out, in 2024 I'm standing in front of all of you. In 1984 I was here. We did not realize that actually in this space there's so many things happens, and I'm so happy that they introduced the managing director of so and so company, right? All this happens just like it will not come just like that. I was just among you. I am here today. The difference is only the time. You understood all those things? Yes. The point what I'm trying to tell you is, maybe after 30 years, you may be talking to you, but somebody else is sitting here. Please understand that. When you're listening to my slides, please understand that it is nothing to do with anybody. It is to do with you yourself. Okay? All of you? Good. Thanks. Can I go to next slide? What will happen, let's say, in the year of 25, you finish your B Pharm, M Pharm, and 1 or 2 years you want to figure out what you want to do. I want to go to US, I want to do something. So by the time you actually finish your school, it will be 25 years. At least by 55, you should be in the boardroom. Means, just you are getting into a class, from a classroom to a job, and in 30 years, you have just 30 years time. 25 years are already lost. In 30 years time, you have to aim to be going into a boardroom. Means what? You are actually creating jobs, you are actually contributing to the economy of India. You got this what? But of course you will see some of them through illustrations. So now the next question is, why you don't get it and why you don't get this perspective is, neither you ask yourself, or you don't ask your teachers, or your parents don't tell you what is the difference between the job and the career. Everybody says, sir, I finished my M.Pharm, I want a job. I never seen anybody, including myself, ask for a career. Sir, I want a job. Did any one of you ever ask yourself, or anybody ask you what is going to be a career? No. Not only you. How many of you are working professionals here? I see so many of the students. You're working. How many years of experience? PhD and working. How many are working in industry? Anybody? Yeah. So, I mean, even in industry, after 10 years of experience, if somebody I interview, what you want to become, they don't have an idea, because they don't have a clarity between the job and the career. Can anybody tell me what is job? Everybody knows what is the job. If I ask you a definition, you cannot be able to tell what the job is. You Google it and see, but you never must have seen it. The job is just a transaction of work for which you are paid. You are just paid. So I get 30,000 rupees per month, I am doing some analysis. After 2 years, I am doing, let's say, an assistant manager in quality control. I paid 45,000 or 50,000 rupees. This is a job. You Google it and I mean, because I don't know whether I'm that much of time I'll have it or not. Please stop me if you get bored. Huh? The job is a piece of work, especially a specific task done as a part of the routine of one's occupation for an agreed price. All of you of the college, you just want a job. Please don't look at the job. You ask for the career. You know what is a career? You Google it. Anyway, you don't waste time, but understand this. An occupation or a profession, especially one requiring a special training, followed by one's life work. You should be clear what you want to become, what is your interest, and so that, because you have only 30 years time if you look at, people think, oh, I have a lot of time, but not. It is very, very small. It's very, very less. You have to figure out so many things so that you should have a plan in your career. So please go and read what is a job and what is a career. You ask your teacher, you ask your boss, you ask your mentor, you ask your coach, please help me to make my career. Is it clear? This is the first step if you want to move from classroom to a boardroom. This slide can tell you actually, you have to do several jobs if you really want to become a CEO of a company, you want to become a boss of the company, either be owner or a profession. For myself, I am not the owner of the company. I don't have any equity, but I am a professional CEO. But that can be, you need not be very rich to become a CEO of a company. You should be very, very intellectual. You should be very hardworking. You should be actually having a bigger perspective what you want to become. So you have to do plenty of jobs to be there from your classroom to your boardroom. The question what I asked, even if I ask yourself, if I ask any one of you, do you have anybody, do you have any goal? Anyone can actually speak? Did anybody actually made any? Because your parents did not ask you? Your teachers did not ask you? Why? What? You want to say something?
I have a goal. I want to discover a drug. We are successful to a certain extent, but my goal was not fulfilled as of now. I am going to continue.
This is a very, very modest answer. Satyanarayana is my classmate. He is in the board. He is in the board for last 30 years since we just finished our college. We were all 25, I said. In 27 years or 20, below 30s, he already started a company. He became board. He's a managing director and he's already in the board. But still he's saying, I still have a goal. Right? But look at you people, or most of you are less than 25 years of age. You should be having a goal. It may be moving here and there, but you should have a goal. Clear? Thanks, Acharana. Normally what we see in the school and college is, we have 7 semesters, sir, in B.Pharm and 4 semesters in M.Pharm. In 7 semesters, I have got 35 subjects. I have to just get 6.5 or so, I don't remember the weightage and other things, just to pass. You never concentrate on what you want to do with that course. So 35 subjects, 6.5 average CPI. Huh? Yeah. So that is enough. But you don't, neither you nor the teachers, please don't mistake me, right? None of the environment, the ecosystem actually trigger you to ask, why are you studying this? We were going to some class, right, botany class or something like that. They never used to say, why are we reading this? They never used to say, why are you doing this course? They just say, okay, you have to get 6.5 CPA to just pass. So that is actually missing. That's why you don't get this perspective. So this slide is for the teachers and also the bosses where you are working for. You are working in a production area, you are working in an R&D, you are working anywhere. All the bosses, whatever work you do, it should be practical, realistic, inspirational, meaningful, and engaging. If you don't know what you're doing, then it has no meaning, right? You will not be able to actually, the 30-year slot, what I said, you will not be able to achieve that. Because 30 years in 30 minutes is very difficult to illustrate. That's why I am jumping and giving you a broader perspectives. If you really want to move from a classroom to a boardroom, there are three different paths. I will also show you with some of the examples, the people whom you know, and you will get inspired with them. They will be the people you can actually draw inspiration and see how they became and what they have contributed. I don't know how much you will be able to understand from this slide, but I'll tell you there are three paths from the classroom to the boardroom. One is, your father is already a rich businessman. He is also the managing director. Luckily, you are a son or a daughter of his family. You are 27 years. So you finish your college. Your dad says, mom says, no, you should be coming. You should be the director. You should already in the board. This is one of the paths. So how many of the people who are sitting here, your dads or moms are the CEOs or the owners of the company? How many? Nobody. Nobody is here. So you don't have this path. You cannot become the board member in 27 years. Correct? So Sachinarayana is actually started his company, is one of the examples. He started the company very immediately after the college. So his son is lucky because he will automatically come into the board. So in this group, what I say, this path is almost not there for many of you, right? The second path is entrepreneurs. Normal entrepreneurs, I will just show you with examples with some of the people. Okay, let me go to that slide so that you will be able to figure out. All these people you must be knowing, right? They are real inspirators, contributors, and also the very highly respected people for the society, especially in pharma. If you look at 25 years ago, some of the people like Parthasarathy Reddy Garu I was just joining Dr. Reddy's, he was just leaving Dr. Reddy's. All right. So all of them were from this classroom from this room to these positions, right? The story what I'm trying to tell is them. Some of them, let's say you take Dr. Sachinarayana Garu. We were all in the same hostel when we were studying, but nobody knows that he will become so big. Right. They've got a different thing. They all become. As I told you, sorry. Yeah. You see the people on the top, they are all entrepreneurs. They have taken a courage to start their company. They took the risk. They had some experience. Then they became the leaders of the board, and they became the board. If you look at my friend Umang Ora, we were just colleagues. Let's say 15 years ago, we were colleagues. He is now the managing director. He is the professional managing director. Neither his father is a businessman or a owner, nor he was an entrepreneur. He is a pure professional managing director. He is in the board. So what I'm trying to tell you is, you have to take this path. Either your parent is in the company owner so that you will become, or you should become an entrepreneur. The third part is, you should be a pure professional like me. You have to work hard for 30 years, take several challenges, and until there is an opportunity that you become a board member, which I feel very, very satisfying, because without money, without any investment, you can also lead the board. Sorry, yeah. The first one, as I said, is a different part. The second one is, you are an entrepreneur working for 10 years, you take chance, you take risk, then you move into start a company, you go ups and downs, you face, not everybody is successful, but you are seeing the pictures of only successful people. There may be some of the unsuccessful people also, you should get to know. The third path what I'm trying to tell you is my experience, which all of you also should actually embrace. But first one or two, not that easy. The third one is very, very much possible. I wish that all the people who are here can actually can make that path. The next slide and come to this slide. I will tell you what you're supposed to do. This is the classroom. If you see, there is a picture of a girl here. We respect diversity, we encourage diversity. If I go to any pharma college, 90% of the students are women or girls. So the future of all CEOs and the board members will be only women if I see in next 20 years. In all the pharma companies are headed by women. So first 10 years, you should be actually working on the ground, knowing all the operations. You should not be sticking to, I joined quality control, I retire in quality control. I joined in R&D, I retire in R&D. I joined in science, I will be there. You have to keep on changing the all operational activities, take risks and demand your boss so that you change your jobs. First 10 years, you have to spend time in operations. The second 10 years, you have to work with the customer. People think that I am innovating so many products. Your innovation really happens when you really meet the customer. The customer's pain is your business. I also passed through this phase. I used to say, oh, we have done this. Why are they not buying? But the buyer do not know, buyer do not want that what you make. You should know what the buyer wants. Unless until you work and until you face, you will not get that experience. That is for, so when you are 25 years, you start your journey. In 35 years, if you are in operations, move to customer interface, which is like marketing in other places. Then next 10 years, you should be taking the business assignments. It is very risky. You may be thrown out of the job also if you are not performing. But you should be able to take that challenge. You should tell your boss, tell your company, I want to deal this, I want to deal this geography, I want to head this country, I want to head this business. You should come forward, you should challenge, and you should face it. Then you will become by 55 years, you become in a boardroom. At 55, I became a CEO. I'm now coming to 65. I'm still continuing thanks to the job. So, so that's how you should plan it. So for the students who are all here, all the academics, all the working professionals, you should take these steps like this. You should also take a sabbatical in between what happens, unless until you have some management experience, management qualification, it would be very difficult to deal with the remaining 20 years of your thing, because you will not be dealing with science there. You will be dealing with people, you will be dealing with money, or you will be dealing with the risk and environment, or you dealing with the external ecosystem. That's why you should have a management skill. That's why you should take at least 1 or 2 years sabbatical and get the qualification, then move into leadership role, and then go into management roles. Going forward, it is also important not the management qualification. You should also have the technology because everything is, even today, I cannot operate an HPLC because I cannot understand many of the things because it was out of our age. Luckily, I don't do that job. I'm into management. I need not do any technical things. I don't get into the other FDA inspections in other places because everything is all technology oriented things. So unless until you are clear at your age, you should also have, along with management, you should also have the technology skills. This is last but one slide. Once you have all these things, when you are in 25, 35, and 45, and 55, all phases, you will not know exactly what is happening. If I ask you like job and career, can you tell me what is knowledge, what is skill, and what is experience? Everybody tells very generic answers. I call people for interview. How many years of experience? Sir, I have 20 years of experience. He thinks that working in industry for 20 years is experience, which is not. You're just, you're just living for 20 years in a company, which is not experience. So what is the difference? First is qualification. The skill is the application of your knowledge. You apply your knowledge, then it becomes a skill. When you are skilled, you are becoming skillful, then you will understand how to solve the problem. Experience is you actually solving at least 3 or 4 problems in a week. I tell you a small example. I don't know. I mean, I take some analytical examples. People say, sir, raw material is received, it is failed. Right? In analytical, I'm talking about raw material is received, it is failed in the lab. There are hundreds of reasons why it is failed. Whether the quality is not good, your analysis is not good, the person analysis is doing not good, or your environment is not good, there is some impurity. There are hundreds of reasons why it cannot be qualified. The people who knows what is the reason for that failure and how it has happened and what are the ways it can be stopped in future and how do we solve this problem. I'm just giving one of the small examples. In your job, in your career, you will be having plenty of things. Normally, people who are there in experience, if any problem is there, they get away. So if I go there, my boss will ask me, let me be away, let him solve the problem. But in my career, I was there all the time wherever there is a problem. I used to get beating. People say, oh, you're not delivering. But don't worry, this is going to pay you back. After 5-6 times, even though you're failing, when you become really success, you will really jump into your career. The whole company is actually after you, so that you will have your career. Just to tell you an example, I was working for Dr. Reddy's for 16 years. I am telling you a most difficult job. Every 5 years when they used to post me. They used to call and they used to ask me, you are the only person you have to go and work in these geographies. Which I am so happy about it, for which you have to spend about 15 years working hard. They suddenly bought a company in Russia. They said you have to go. I don't speak the language. I don't know. I don't know anything. I spent about 6-7 years in Russia. Then I come back. I wanted to come back and stay in India. Then they said, no, you have to go to China. 10 people have applied in the company. They said they are all not qualified. We interviewed, but you are the only. I never applied for it, but you have been picked up. Then I was there for 5 years. This is what happens if you really put your effort, and you will be having a lot of beating. You will be having a lot of humiliation because you are not able to deliver. Because you're trying to figure out, not that others know, but you are coming forward, you are facing that pitch. Today, that is actually paying off. That's what the experience has actually made me. Today, at this age, I am telling you, I am not overpaying. I have, even the consultants still reach out to me, will you be ready to work with us? So which is the most happiest thing which I have because of this. Which is I feel more satisfying for me because your experience is valued. These are the inspirations one should, from this group, at least people are listening to this conversation, at least after 20 years. If I see some of you there in the board, I'll be so happy. The people who are in the last slide, if they meet you, they ask you 3 questions. They are in the slide. They will ask you what you want to chase. What is your purpose? They will not ask you, do you know analysis? Do you know chemistry? Do you know science? They don't ask you anything. Any of those people who are seen in the slide, today if you go and meet them, they will ask you, what is the purpose? What you want to achieve? You should be clear what you want to achieve. You should also know how to measure the time and how to measure in money. You should be saying, today you are in 2024, in July. By 2030, by July, I will make about 2.5 million from this product. So you're talking about money, you're talking about time, and you should also be taking, this is my impact, there may be a risk. If it may not be 2.5 million, it may be about 1.5 million. The best case is 2.5 million. Worst case is 1.5 million. There may be a loss of $500,000. You should speak this language. So you should change your experience. You should change your language. You should change your orientation in such a way. You should be speaking, learning how to read time. Any activity what you do at home, for example, your father says, why don't, she's doing PhD. For example, she should be knowing it will take 2 years. It will take this much of money. So by doing this, I will become so and so. So that clarity you should be having. For any activity, time and money and purpose should be very clear. The last slide is explore global opportunities. Don't hesitate. My daughter was 7 years old when they asked me to go to Russia. I can also say hundreds of reasons why I cannot go because it is not that easy to be staying there with family. Tackle challenges and assignments with courage. As I told you, don't worry about failure. If not this company, somebody else will hire you because you have the experience of and courage. Be open for mentorship. You should have mentors in your career in the school and confidently chart your own course of success. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Thanks for giving this opportunity.